The locker room incident asterisk. Jocks didn't ask for trouble. In fact, he avoided it like he avoided expired protein packs, carefully and with great fear. He was just a simple human mechanic on Station 9, a rusty, floating junkyard near the edge of the Zorvax galaxy. His job? Fix broken panels, stop leaky oxygen pipes, and try not to get eaten by anything with more than 4 eyes. That morning started like any other. Alarms blared, coffee machine exploded, and the bathroom lights were flickering like they were possessed. Typical Tuesday. But then, Jocks got a call from Commander Rix. "We got a busted power regulator in Sector 7B. Fix it, or the whole shower. System goes offline. Again." The last time the shower system failed, the alien mercenaries almost started a riot. No one wanted to smell wet lizard for a week again, so Jocks grabbed his tool belt and hurried towards Sector 7B, but he took the wrong door instead of the tech hallway. He entered a large room filled with mist, lockers, and soft humming lights. He froze. Wait a second. Is this the Yep? He was in the alien female mercenary locker room. Jocks turned around to leave immediately. He didn't want to die today. But it was too late. She stepped out from the steam. Tall, armored, glowing, purple tattoos, and very, very naked. Xerath single quotes Ka, elite warrior of the Zarnak clan, stood in front of him. She was holding her chest plate in one hand, a glowing blade in the other. Her golden eyes locked onto his. Jax's brain screamed, "Don't look, don't look, don't look." But his eyes didn't listen. He accidentally made eye contact with her. And then with everything else, there was a long, dangerous silence. Zaravka tilted her head. Her nostrils flared. She sniffed the air like a wolf sensing prey. Then she said something in her language. J.R. Rico Cog. The room lights changed. A red alarm blinked over the locker room door. Mating claim initiated. Wait, what? Jocks shouted, dropping his wrench. No. That was not intentional. Zaravka stepped forward slowly, her eyes burning, with a new kind of fire. You looked, she said in broken English. You saw. You claimed. I was just lost. Jocks shouted, backing into a locker. I didn't mean anything. My eyes slipped. My brain lagged. She didn't care. Alien. Customs were clear. A vulnerable moment seen by another triggered a binding ritual. In her culture, he wasn't a pervert. He was her chosen mate. Zaravka gave him a serious look. You are mine now. Jocks screamed and ran. He bolted through the halls, knocking over cleaning bots and spilling alien soup all over sleeping Torglax. Behind him, the sound of heavy armored boots echoed. She's still chasing me? Jocks panted. This is not romantic. This is terrifying. He rushed into the command center. Commander Rix, help. I accidentally engaged in space marriage. Rix blinked. Oh, stars. You peeked at a Zarnak during ritual undress, didn't you? Yes, but it was an accident. The commander sighed. Then you're in trouble. The Zarnak don't joke about that. You're now her bonded. Can't we just reset it? Like a password or something? Nope. Only death or blood duel cancels the bond. Jocks groaned. Why not just a breakup text? Suddenly, the door burst open. Zaravka stepped in, now fully armored, glowing tattoos pulsing with intensity. She looked at Jocks, and without blinking, pointed at him. I claim this male. He is mine. Touch him, and I will end you. Jocks gave a weak wave. Hi, still confused, still terrified. The room fell silent. And the commander said, well, better start planning the wedding. The mercenary code Jocks was hiding. Again, inside an old maintenance duct behind the cargo bay, crouched next to a leaking coolant pipe, He whispered to himself. Okay, deep breaths. You're just being hunted by a deadly alien who thinks you're her cosmic boyfriend. Nothing weird. Totally normal Tuesday. Footsteps echoed. Heavy, metallic, confident that she was close. Zarathka, war queen of the Zarnak mercenaries, wasn't. Just strong, she was trained, focused, and convinced that Jox was her chosen mate. And the worst part? Her entire squad now supported the bond. Because to the Zarnak, the claim was sacred. She wasn't chasing him in anger. No. She was chasing him like a lioness chases her clueless, emotionally unavailable mate. Flashback. Hours ERLA Commander Rix had tried to help. Sort of. There's one way out, Jox, he said, sipping his weird alien tea. You need to invoke the mercenary code. Sounds fancy. What is it? Trial by proving. You challenge the bond by proving you're unworthy. Great. I'm super unworthy. The challenge is ... survival. Back in the present, Jox was not surviving very well. Suddenly clank. A hatch above him opened. A hand shot down, grabbed his collar, and yanked him up like a bag of groceries. Zarathka Zei. Glowing eyes met his. Her face was unreadable, but her grip was firm. Not cruel, just unbreakable. You run from me again, she growled, and I will chain you to my ship. Jox blinked. Okay, ... wow. That's definitely not in the human dating manual. But instead of threatening him further, she dropped him onto the ground. Around them stood her mercenary squad. 6 deadly aliens. All staring at Jox. Zarathka stepped forward. He has chosen trial by code. Jox whispered to a nearby merc. Can I instead choose trial by cake eating? The merc didn't smile. The TRIL, the first challenge, was brutal. They took Jox to the training arena, a huge chamber filled with moving walls, floating platforms, and attack drones. He was handed a weapon, a glowing spoon. This is a joke, right? He asked. Zarnak tradition, one merc said. We fight with our food. It tests creativity. Jox gulped. The challenge. Defeat the dreadnought, a robotic beast shaped like a metal bull. Using only cooking tools. The arena doors opened, and the dreadnought charged. Oh, come on. Jox shouted, dodging left. He ran, tripped over a ladle, ducked a plasma burst, and by accident slipped on a spilled jar of alien jam. The robot hit the jam, spun in the air, and smashed into the ceiling. The crowd went silent. Then, cheers. He has style. One shouted. Xerath single quotes watched, arms crossed, hiding a smile. Something changes. Later, while cleaning up bruises and jam stains, Jox sat alone. Zarathka approached quietly and sat beside him. You fought well, even if by mistake. Yeah, I'm like a space raccoon. I survive by tripping over things and panicking. She tilted her head. You are strange, but you are real. For the first time, her voice was soft, not commanding, not threatening, just curious. You didn't mean to claim me, but you saw me without armor, without walls. That matters in my culture. Jox looked at her. You didn't kill. That matters in mine. They stared at each other for a moment. Then, boom. An explosion rocked the station. Red lights flashed. Sirens screamed. Unauthorized boarding detected. Jox and Zarathka rushed to the viewing window. A black ship, marked with blood-red sigils, was docking forcefully. It's Koran the Fang, she whispered, eyes wide. My old war mate. He always wanted the bond. He will kill you for it. Ah, great. Space ex-boyfriend drama. Just what I needed. Cliffhanger. The door to the arena burst open. A tall, scarred alien stepped in with a giant plasma axe and glowing red armor. He pointed at Jox. You claimed what is mine. You will face me, or die as a coward. Zarathka stepped between them. If you fight him, you fight me. The tension in the room could slice metal. Jax looked between them and muttered, "Is there a trial by hide-and-seek option? The smuggler's job asterisk. The smuggler mission. You dragged me onto a smuggler ship." Jax shouted, gripping his seat as the ship blasted through hyperspace. "This is kidnapping." Zarathka, calm and stone-faced, replied, "No, this is bonding." "Bonding? Bonding doesn't usually involve war crimes." She finally looked at him. "We are being hunted. You need protection. I need answers. This mission gives us both." The job was simple, she claimed. Pick up a package, deliver it to the neutral zone, get paid, no questions. Which, of course, meant everything would go horribly wrong. The plan goes wrong if faced. They arrived at the meeting point, an abandoned mining colony floating in deep space. The place looked like it. Hadn't seen life or law in 50 years. The buyer didn't show up, but a pirate ship did. Suddenly, alarms blared. "Hostiles inbound. Let me guess." Jax said, ducking behind a crate, "This isn't part of the bonding experience?" Zarathka pulled out her plasma rifle. "No, but it will make a good story for our children." "Whoa, let's back up like 50 steps." The cargo are reveal in the chaos. A stray blaster shot hit the cargo crate they were supposed to deliver. It cracked open. Inside was a stasis pod. Inside the pod was a human child. Jax stared in shock. That's a human kid. But humans hadn't traveled this far into the galaxy. Earth was cut off. No contact. No colonization. Nothing. So how did this child get here? Zarathka's expression changed. No longer battle mode. She went still, serious, protective. She scanned. The child's DNA. Confirmed. Human. Female. Earthborn. Age. 6 years. Then the real shock hit. Genetic markers match. "You, Jax." Jax's face went pale. "Excuse me? I've never even had a serious girlfriend, much less made a baby with one." "Then you were part of something. Something older than you remember. Bigger questions, bigger DNGR before they could process it. More ships began to arrive. Not pirates this time. Government vessels, black ops ships, mercenary killers. Everyone wanted the pod. Zarathka activated the stealth drive and jumped the ship out of range, barely escaping a missile lock. Inside the ship, Jax stood by the stasis pod, watching the small child sleep peacefully, unaware of the chaos outside. "Why me?" he asked quietly. "Why do I feel like my life was normal just 3 days ago? And now I'm a main character in someone else's twisted sci-fi novel?" Zarathka stepped beside him. "Because you are not ordinary, not anymore." The child asked as they reached a safe zone, a hidden asteroid hangar. Jax leaned over the pod again. The child's eyes fluttered open for just a second, glowing faintly blue. She looked at him, touched the glass, and whispered in a soft, mechanical voice, "He is the key." Then she fainted again. Jax stepped back, heart pounding. "Key to what?" Zarathka didn't answer. Her face was pale now, too. "There's something you don't know," she said slowly. "About humans. About why your kind vanished from the stars." Jax turned toward her, fists clenched. "Then it's time you tell me." The child was asleep again, frozen in the cracked stasis pod. Her small hand still rested on the glassrite where she had touched Jax. Words still echoed in his head like a broken alarm. "He is the key." Jax sat quietly on the floor of the hidden hangar. The walls buzzed faintly with energy, lights flickering in and out, as if the asteroid itself didn't like secrets. Zarathka stood nearby, silent, watching, protecting, thinking. Okay, Jock said, breaking the silence. I think we've passed weird and reached galactic-level conspiracy. So care to explain? She looked at him. Her eyes, usually fierce and wild, were calm now. Almost sad. You asked why humans disappeared from the stars. The truth is, they didn't. Jax frowned. What does that mean? Earth's been silent for over a century. Because someone made sure it stayed that way. Revelation Tamezerath Ka sat across from Jax and began to explain. 112 cycles ago, the Galactic Coalition feared what humans could become. You were advancing too fast, spreading too quickly, emotional, unpredictable, but adaptable. So they made a decision. Quiet, ruthless. They sealed Earth. A containment protocol enforced by cloaked satellites, quantum gates, and a memory suppression virus that erased Earth's presence from interstellar logs. The stars were taken from you, and Earth was told it never had them. Jock stood slowly, hands shaking. That's insane. My parents they never even talked about space. Because they didn't remember. No one did. The virus affected all Earth systems, and even generational memory. Only a few slipped through. She gestured to the pod. Like her. The kid's SEC, the child's pod blinked. Energy readings surged suddenly. A holographic recording activated flickering above the pod. It showed a woman in a white uniform, clearly human, speaking urgently. If you're watching this, you found her. She's part of Project Edenluck. Earth's last hope. The image distorted, but one word was clear. Jox. Jox's breath caught. What the hell is Project Edenluck? Now everyone wants in deity. They didn't have time to answer. The hangar's alarm started howling. Incoming vessels. Not one, not two, but 12 ships belonging to the Red Syndicate, the most violent private military group in the quadrant. JA. X turned to Zerathka. Let me guess. They're not here to share cookies. They followed the child's signal, she growled. She is the most valuable being in the system. Great, Jock said. I can't even afford socks without holes, but sure, let's make me galactic treasure. The ESAPE, with the pod hovering on anti-grav, Zerathka and Jox made a run for it. Blasters flew. Ships exploded. Jock screamed like someone who hadn't signed up for any of this, and to be fair, he hadn't. They fought their way to the ship. Zerathka took hits, slicing through enemies, with elegance and rage at the loading ramp. Jox looked back as the hangar collapsed behind them. You're really going to stick with me through all this? He asked, panting. Zerathka smirked. You peeked. You claimed. I follow. You're never going to let that go, are you? No. They jumped to hyperspace. The child speaks, aging aeon inside the ship. Jox checked on the girl. Her vitals were stable. The pod now had a glowing interface. With his name on it. Suddenly, her eyes opened again. Not just human eyes, now blue, digital, ancient. She sat up slowly. You were meant to find me, she said, voice echoing with something more than childlike. Jock swallowed. Who are you? I'm what remains of Earth's lost legacy. I'm the seed. And you she touched chest. You are the key to unlocking the stars. Jox blinked. Cool. Do keys get therapy? Asking for a friend. The galactic truth. The ship floated in deep black silence. No stars. No signals. No pursuit. Just the cold, quiet darkness beyond known space. JAX sat in the cockpit, staring blankly at the stars that weren't there. Behind him, the stasis pod now open-glowed faintly. The child, small and eerily calm, sat beside Zerathka, sketching strange symbols in the air with her glowing fingers. symbols Jocks was beginning to recognize, and that terrified him. "So," he said, breaking the silence, "just to recap. I accidentally peeked at a battle-hardened alien in a towel, and now I'm the chosen one in a lost human prophecy?" Zarathka didn't laugh. Neither did the child. Not a great sign. The HFY the girl, still unnamed, finally spoke in that strange, echoing voice. "Jocks Orin, ID 174C, genetic vector confirmed. Activation sequence ... unlocked." Before he could say, "Hey, no one activates me without dinner first," a surge of light shot from the console, scanning his body. His veins lit up like stars. Every nerve in his body screamed, but not in pain. In memory. Suddenly, he saw things that didn't belong in his mind. Cities floating in orbit above Earth. Fleets of human ships. A war. A betrayal. And a voice, his own voice, peeking in a briefing room. "We can't let them take Earth. Lock it down. Erase us if we have to. We'll come back ... when we're ready." Jocks collapsed to the floor, panting. His skin still shimmered faintly. "What ... what was that?" A girl looked at him solemnly. "That was your past. Or the past of the man you were cloned from. The truth about Eat. It's explained. Humans didn't disappear. They didn't get erased. They erased themselves. Over 100 years ago, humanity made a terrifying discovery. A parasite species, the Draxel swarm that could mimic, infect, and annihilate civilizations. Silent, perfect, unstoppable. Humanity's solution? Operation Edenlock. A plan to seal Earth, delete all records of it, and place key genetic data inside stasis, seeds children like her, who would only awaken when the parasite was gone, or when someone with the right genetic code returned. That? Someone? JAX ... Who is Jocks, really? Jocks stood up, trembling. "So I'm not even me?" The girl nodded. "You're a copy. A clone of a high-level Edenluck scientist. Your memory was wiped. Your personality grew naturally. But your body was always a key. Well, I always wondered why I never caught space flu," Jocks muttered. Zarathka stepped forward, staring at him with something new in her eyes, not curiosity. "Not lust, but fear. You're not a joke. You're a weapon." The threat Aritu suddenly. Long-range sensors lit up. A massive energy spike. Organic. Spreading. The child turned pale. "It's the Draxel. They're returning." "You said they were extinct," Jocks shouted. "No, I said they were sleeping." The burnt Syistian they rushed to an old outpost, the burnt system, a place wiped off maps. It was once a thriving colony. Now, just ash and silence. There, in the remains of a lab, they find the full Edenlock archive. JAX activates the last surviving AI. Dr. Mara, the real scientist he was cloned from. She tells him the truth. You were never supposed to awaken unless Earth needed a new champion. "Well," Jocks says, shaking, "Earth is still sealed. So what does that mean?" "It means you're not just the key ... You're the fuse." Asterisk the DRXALWX back on the ship. Alarm scream again. A transmission. Blasts through. Crackling. Alien. Wrong. A voice, insectal and sharp. "We see you now. Jocks Orin. Key of Eden. The stars are ours again. The Draxel hive has awakened, and they're coming for him." Jocks grips the controls. "Guess it's time to stop fixing toilets and start saving the galaxy." Betrayal at Sterich. The ship hovered. In the orbit of Sterich Station, the last remaining independent trade hub before Coalition territory. Once known for its floating gardens and peace treaties, now it buzzed with tension. Refugees, mercenaries, and spies packed its corridors. Everyone was running from something or toward something worse. For Jocks, It was both. The Pila and Jacques paced nervously in the docking bay. His hands glowed faintly now, residual nanotech from the Edenlock activation. "So the galaxy's about to be eaten by space bugs," he muttered. "And I'm a glow-in-the-dark science project with PTSD." Zarathka stood near him, speaking with an old contact Drell, an information broker with more fingers than morals. "We need the access codes to the old Earthgate," she said quietly. "My bonded must reach the source." "And you think Sterich will just hand over ancient Earth tech?" Drell laughed. "Only one person on this station has those codes." Zarathka's voice dropped. "Then take us to him." The OFR, they met the code holder in a private suite, a sleek, high-security vault, hidden behind holoads and fake. Noodle stands. His name? Admiral Valen. Retired, ruthless, and Jacques' worst nightmare, because Valen was one of the men who designed Operation Edenlock. "You," Jacques growled. "You erased Earth." "I saved it," Valen replied. "And now, thanks to you, the Swarm knows how to find it." He made an offer. "Surrender yourself. Let us contain you. Keep Earth hidden. Save billions." Zarathka said nothing. Jacques looked at her. "We're not actually considering this, right?" She didn't meet his eyes. Ibita Rewayo hours later. Jacques sat in a holding cell, betrayed, furious, and alone. She had handed him over. Just like that, not with a fight. Not with a word. He replayed the moment in his mind, again and again. She promised to protect me. She said I was hers. Now he was locked in a chamber with energy dampeners, surrounded by black-armored guards, and stripped of any tech. Outside the cell, Zarathka stood silently, watching through the glass dot, and then she left. She left. The real TWST, but this isn't your average betrayal story. Because an hour later, the alarm screamed across Sterich Station. Draxel forces had arrived. Not for a fight. No. They came inside. Someone had turned off the outer defenses. And then, Valen screamed. Jacques watched from his cell as the Admiral was dragged across the corridor, his eyes hollowed, his mind infected. The Draxel weren't just coming. They were already here. The breakout suddenly boomed. The wall behind Jacques exploded, standing. In the smoke was Zarathka. Battle armor, blood, fury. "You really think I'd betray you without a plan?" she growled. "What?" "I needed to get you inside, close to the archive. The gate codes are buried here." She pulled him from the rubble. "Next time," he yelled, dodging a falling beam, "just say trust me and skip the emotional trauma. Where's the fun in that? The COST, they fought their way to the core archive, but it wasn't without price. Drell, the info broker? Dead. The child? Taken by Draxel scouts in the chaos. Valen? His body now controlled by the hive, his voice still human, his words not. She is gone, Jacques. They have her. And she will show them the way to Earth." Jacques dropped to his knees. His hands glowed again. Only this time, the glow changed color. It turned black. The dark Zarathka stepped back, shocked. "That's not just Edenlock tech," she whispered. "That's void-coded." Jacques looked up slowly. His voice wasn't just his own anymore. It echoed. "Then maybe it's time I stop being the key. And start being the lock." The final claim location, the lost Earth Gate, hidden in the ruins of a forgotten moon. Silent, dead, waiting. One week Jacques stood alone in a war-torn chamber deep inside the Sterich vaults. The girl, the stasis child, was gone. The Draxel hive had her. And Earth's location, hidden in her neural core, was being extracted as they spoke. Across the galaxy, sleeper ships and void rifts were awakening. The Swarm was coming. And Jacques? He wasn't Jacques anymore. The dark KY, the void code inside him, had fully activated. Edenlock tech had evolved merged with ancient, forbidden AI code from deep human history. No one even knew the Black Strand existed. Until now. You were never meant to survive, the AI voice whispered in his mind. But since you did, let's rewrite destiny. He didn't just glow now. He radiated. His presence distorted gravity. Machines bent toward him. Language broke. Weapons refused to fire at him unless he allowed it. J.A.X. Oren, space mechanic, had become a living override, and he was going to get her back. The return of Zareth Kash found him just before the jump gate, bloodied, tired, beautiful and terrifying as always. You're different, she said softly. I'm still me. No, you're more. He looked at her. You once said I claimed you, but I think it was the other way around. She stepped closer. Then let's finish what we started. Together. The assault on the Swarm HIV with stolen tech and rogue AI support. They launched a strike against the Draxel Hive World, a biomechanical planet that lived, breathed, and devoured. The visuals? Insane. Organic towers screamed as they fell, void-coated. Machines fought side by side with rebel mercs. Jax hovered above the battlefield, arms outstretched, eyes glowing like dying stars. He didn't fire weapons. He reprogrammed reality. You wanted to erase humanity? Here's a system crash. He sent a pulse that turned Draxel ships into clouds of static. The rescue and the PR ice see inside the heart of the hive. They found her, the girl, still alive, but altered. She wasn't just a child anymore. She had merged with the Draxel, network become its queen. She looked at Jax. They showed me everything. The truth, the lies, the potential. I can bring peace or fire. He reached for her. And choose us. For one terrible second, she hesitated. Then she stepped down from the throne of flesh. Okay, Dad. And the entire hive collapsed. Earth. Yunlo CKD back on the ship. The Earthgate finally pulsed. Coordinates reactivated. The blue marble home filled the screen. We made it, Zarathka whispered. Jax stared. He had never seen it before. And yet, somehow, he always had the final CHOIs. But the void code was unstable. If he returned to Earth, the signal could corrupt it. He was no longer just human. He was a quantum virus wearing skin. And I stay here, he said. Alone? Safe. Zarathka grabbed him. You idiot. You think I let you claim me just to lose you now? She kissed him. Then she injected a countersignal she'd stolen from the Hive Queen's core. You're not a virus anymore. I'm free? She smiled. You always were. You just didn't believe it. Epilogue. The CLA on Earth rejoins the stars. The girl named Nova becomes the ambassador of the new human coalition. And Jax? He and Zarathka disappear. Somewhere deep in the galaxy. Some say they started a school for orphans. Some say they run a rogue starship bar. Some say he still fixes toilets. But one thing's certain. He claimed her. And she claimed him right back.